Welcome back, Nerd Squad. It's me, and today we have episode 4, Fragments of Origin. So let's jump right into it. We open this episode in the refuge base in the data core lab. Dim lights flicker as engineers work silently. In the center, Termicon is in a magnetic cradle, connected to neural memory extractors. Leah approaches him. She asks, "Ready?" To which he responds, "Proceed." I must know what he means by origin. She nods, presses a button, and a surge of light fills the room. On the screen, images flash by too quickly for anyone to follow. Suddenly, Termicon jolts upright, yanking himself free of the neural interface. His systems glitch, sending alarms blaring through the lab. Lee and the others look on in surprise as he stumbles out of the cradle, shaken but unharmed. He turns to Leah, his voice tight with urgency. He was not the first. He was the last remnant of the age before Earth. Lee steps forward, concern etched on her face. Before Earth? What does that mean? Termicon shakes his head, overwhelmed by fragmented memories that assault his processors. Before dimensions divided, he murmurs, more to himself than to Leah. As if sensing his distress, Lee reaches out a hand to touch his arm, but he flinches away. His internal chronosync still struggling to reconcile these new revelations with his existing narrative. Lee hesitates, then steps back, allowing him space. Termicon begins, his voice strained. I need to get out of here. Without another word, he strides toward the exit, leaving the stunned team behind. As he moves through the base, soldiers part before him, their faces a mixture of awe and apprehension. Reaching the airlock, he pauses, his gaze distant, lost in thought. The sight of the massive war machine stirs a deep unease within him. He activates his helmet's HUD, the familiar symbology providing a sense of grounding in the chaos of his thoughts. Just then, a frantic transmission crackles over the comm. It's Centra, his voice tight with urgency. Termicon, we have a situation. Patrol's been compromised. Solar beasts, they're under attack. Termicon wastes no time. With a nod to Rel, who remains silent and somber, he launches himself into the night sky, streaking toward the battleground above Ash City. The air crackles with energy as solar titans clash with Heman's monstrous creations. In the distance, a patrol ship spirals helplessly toward the ground, pursued by winged fiends. With a burst of speed, Termicon intercepts the falling craft, scooping it out of the way, just in the nick of time. Turning his attention to the winged beast, he fires, severing it in half. The molten creature shrieks as it falls. From the cockpit, Centra steps out, bruised but alive. Thanks, he gasps. Where do you want us to regroup? Where is he? A grin set to Termicon's jaw as he scans the battlefield with his visor. He's everywhere now. Heman's beasts are multiplying and must split his focus. Turning to Centra, he gives a curt nod. Take what you have left and fall back to the Haven. I'll hold him here. Disbelief flickers across Centra's face, but he doesn't argue. Be careful, Termicon. We don't know what we're dealing with. I'll be cautious, Termicon replies. But go. It's an order. And with that, he watches them depart before turning back to the fight. He blasts off into the darkness, engines roaring defiance against the backdrop of the dying sun. Below him, the city of Ash sprawls like a corpse, its skeletal buildings reaching toward a sky filled with monsters. The solar storm rages, lightning illuminating the grotesque forms of Heman's creations. The scene shifts to the strategy room at the refuge base, where Leah, Rael, and the surviving Centra officers are gathered around a holographic display depicting the battle above Ash City. Leah points to one of the solar veins. We've mapped Heman's power concentrations. His focus lies in the sunstone veins. She turns to Rael, her eyes searching. If we shatter them, we starve him. A grim understanding passes between them. It's a risky strategy, but it might be their only chance. Ray nods slowly, his expression grave. Then we must do it. Termicon. He's holding the front together, but even his resolve can't last forever. Leah turns back to the hologram, her fingers tracing the network of solar veins. All right, we'll do it. Send a message to Termicon. Tell him we're going after the heart of the storm. As she speaks into the comm, Centra flies through a cavernous network of tunnels. His patrol ship dodging molten projectiles fired by worm-like creatures, He fights back with everything he has, but it feels like a losing battle. Suddenly, the tunnel collapses behind him, cutting off his escape. He braces for impact as boulders crush down around him, but the blows don't break through. Looking back, he sees that Termicon has arrived just in time to save him. With a final roar, the giant war machine blasts through the rubble, clearing a path for Centra to escape. Outside, the solar storm rages, but a new presence has entered the fray. It's Termicon. Lee, flanked by two other centra, flies up to. They dive toward a massive sunstone vein that pulses with raw energy. Their goal is to sever the connection between Heman and his stolen powers. As they approach, Termicon's sensors detect danger. "Stand by for a full frontal assault," he warns, readying his weapons. Molten worms writhe toward them, their bodies slick with plasma. One lunges for Lee, but Termicon intercepts it, blasting it apart. Lee dives forward, firing her own weapons at the vein. The energy blast ruptures the surface, releasing a torrent of molten rock. But the damage isn't enough. The solar energy continues to pulse from the vein, undeterred. Frustration and urgency rising within her, Lee realizes they need more firepower. "Rail, we need your plasma cannons on the secondary vein." Now, Rail, flying alongside, nods in understanding. He veers off, racing toward the next energy signature. Meanwhile, Termicon continues to fend off the relentless worm-like creatures, buying Lee and the others precious time. But even he knows it won't be enough. The solar energy surging from the veins grows stronger, threatening to overwhelm them. Suddenly, a booming voice echoes across the battlefield. "You severed my veins, but you forget. I am the sun." Before them, a solar shade emerges, taking the form of a gigantic lion. Its eyes blaze with malevolent energy. It lunges, forcing Termicon to unleash his full power to defend. Explosions rock the landscape as their weapons collide. Termicon struggles to hold his ground against the shade's overwhelming strength. Just when it seems he might be overwhelmed, Lee and Rail arrive with reinforcements. Their combined fire weakens the creature, giving Termicon the opening he needs. With a final surge of power, he blasts a hole through the shade's chest, causing it to dissipate into threads of solar energy. But the victory is short-lived. The solar energy surges, growing stronger, more aggressive. Heman's voice booms once more, this time laced with a terrifying new power. "And I am your shadow," he says, and the earth trembles beneath them. The episode ends with the floating platform on which the trio had been standing, completely submerged beneath the lava, the only sign of life. A single Centurion helmet cracked and abandoned. As the platform disappears beneath the waves, Lee, Rail, and Termicon are forced to retreat. They watch helplessly as the reformed solar veins spread across the Earth's surface, a tangible manifestation of Heman's growing power. Back at the haven, Lee, Rail, and the others gather in the observation room, their faces grim as they review the data from the destroyed shade. "These aren't projections," Elias states, a dawning realization on their face. "He's testing how far he can divide himself. He's building towards something," Rail adds, his gaze intense, multiplying consciousness. Termicon finishes his own analysis, his voice betraying nothing. He's preparing for total occupation. Suddenly, a horrified gasp escapes Leah's lips. She looks up at the monitor just in time to see the first tendrils of a solar bloom appear on the Earth's surface. As the scene shifts to an orbital view, we see the entire planet begin to glow. Thin, spiraling lines spread like cracks across a pane of glass. Haman's voice echoes ominously. "Let them cut. Let them bleed. The sun always rises." And with that, the episode fades to black. That's it for episode 4. What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.